Good morning, Miss Deah. Welcome to KarisTV.
Good morning, Karis. Thank you for having me on KarisTV.
My pleasure. I recently spent time with you on a bus tour, a part of your vision as a food writer and historian. So, before we get to the tour, questions, will you please tell us where you went to college and what program you studied?
Yes, I'd love to. I got my undergraduate degree first, and that was at Southern Methodist University here in Dallas. They call it SMU for short sometimes. And then after that, I went on and I got my master's degree, and I got my master's degree in creative writing. I also got that from SMU. And currently, I'm attending the University of North Texas, where I am enrolled in their PhD program, and I'm studying history, which is what our bus tour was about, right? On last Saturday, the Saturday that you visited.
One of the coolest sites we visited was the Pittman Building, named after architect William Sandy Pittman. It had really beautiful windows.
It
Based
did.
on our work, what's the beauty of your connections between architecture and history?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I think I've never answered this question before because I've never been asked it. So I'm really glad that you asked about it. But architecture plays a big, big part in history that a lot of people don't even consider. One of the ways that it serves as a kind of a reminder to our past. And then, in addition to that, I think architecture preserves history. So, say, for example, through the architecture, we're able to tell what other buildings may have looked like. We can also tell what was important to people in the past. So, say for example, Mr. William Sidney Pittman, from his windows that you talked about, we can see that maybe he thought a lot about what he was looking out at. So that could bring us to think about, well, what did it look like back then? So I love history, and I love how architecture preserves history.
And I think it's very cool that you created those windows
That what
160 years ago, and they still
Yeah,
look good to this day.
yes. Did you like the windows? What was your favorite part about it?
I liked that they were so clear and you could look out of them.
Yeah, I loved that. And I loved how big they were.
The tour path also showed us a piece of the greater southwest part
Mhm.
of the DFW connecting dots between the Paul Quinn students sit in 1960 at Birchbox Girl, which I loved, and
Oh, good.
Juanita Craft's effort,
Mhm.
Youth with Youth. What similarities in your own life resemble Miss Craft's life?
That's another you're a great interviewer. Um, I think one of the things that I have in common with Mrs. Juanita Craft is the fact that she didn't have any children of her own, no biological children. I don't have any children, but we both have a love of kind of galvanizing those voices. She did it with the youth. I feel like I do it not only with the youth, but to just the community, the larger community in general. And I love using my platform to uplift others and to help other people. The way that I help them is by teaching them about the past. So I think that's what we have in common. And she also had a love of kind of Dallas, the city in itself. And it doesn't mean just because you love something, it doesn't mean you can't critique it. And I think we have that in common. And then also, I'll let you in on a little secret. Not a lot of people know this. Another thing we have in common is that she was born in February. We were born like a week apart from each other, a week in some years. So I was also born in February. I think her birthday is February the 9th, or was February the 9th, and my birthday is February the 18th. So because of that, I always felt like I had another layer of a connection with her.
I think that's a great answer.
Thank you. Glad you liked it.
So another really neat place was the Day Drink Lounge in
Yes.
Duncanville, Texas. It was one of my favorite because of the artwork by Mr.
Ferguson.
In the vibe. I really love art. I draw and doodle all the time.
Wow. That's great.
Here's some of my artwork.
Ooh, Karis.
I made these a few days ago. A sunset,
Oh, a very nice.
midnight where a rocket ship launches,
That is beautiful.
and daytime daytime in spring.
I love it. And I love the trees. I really love the colors that you used.
I had to
That's
mix,
beautiful.
I had to mix some of them to get the sky like this.
Yeah. That's a really good a really good kind of reminder for life in general. Sometimes you have to mix up a few things to get it to be beautiful. And I think you have done a great job doing that.
Mhm.
Very nice. You're welcome.
Thank you. This is me and this is my mom.
Oh, I love it.
It looks very Women's History Month-esque.
Beautiful. I love it. You made that too?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
That was a couple of years ago, huh?
okay.
On the pandemic.
And here's some pottery.
Oh, you really love art. You're very talented.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I got a pottery kit
Mm-hmm. Oh,
For Christmas.
for Christmas.
uh-huh. Do you like pottery?
Mm-hmm. Because
What do you like about it?
you get to.
Speak up.
So this one's bigger and this one's smaller. You can make them small or big
Yeah.
or
Okay.
tiny.
I
And
love it.
then you can express yourself by painting them.
Oh, you certainly can. And you've done a great job doing that. I love all the colors. And I love the colors of your shorts, what you're wearing today.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Ooh. Now, what is this? The one with all the colors. Which one is that?
It's marble art that I made in my art class. It's
Oh,
so you put it in a box and put
okay.
marbles are wearing a cup.
Yeah.
And then you put them in the box. Like you have to tape it to the box.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just like shake the box.
Take it. Okay.
And then you can keep on doing it with every color you want.
Wow. And that's how you made that.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. That is kind of more abstract. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I do all kinds of art.
I love it. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now that you see my art, you know that it's true. What connections can be drawn between art and history from your perspective?
Mm. I think kind of like we spoke about architecture earlier, art can be another lens of history. And so what I mean by that is maybe something that you didn't know existed, we can see through art. And we also know how the artist maybe interpreted history. So whether it's a sad painting or a happy painting, it can tell us what was going on at that moment in time, kind of like a snapshot, like a camera, right? So that's how I think art and history are related. So to bring it back to you, with all of those gorgeous paintings that you have behind you, and with the pottery that you have that you painted, with every last one of those pieces, I could probably tell what you were going through or what you were looking at that time. And I think a lot of other artists are the exact same way. So they did it the same way that you did it. Does that make sense?
When I made my sunset one,
She can't hear you.
when I made my sunset one, I was very, very happy, and I liked
You were-
sunset, so I put gold in the sun.
See, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. So just how you painted yours and you were happy and you wanted to express yourself by like putting little gold flecks in there. I think artists, all artists, painters do the exact same thing. And so the next time you go look at a piece of art, I want you to check and look in there and see if you can tell how the artist was feeling when they painted.
In
Can
my
you do that?
in my pottery, I was feeling all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Silly, happy,
Mhm.
interested,
Yep,
exploring,
love it.
all of
That's
the feelings except sad. Or
except because it makes you happy.
Mhm.
You know, you just inspired me. I think I might want to do some pottery soon.
You just gotta get a FA up.
Or she can go to a class. They have pottery classes. You remember when you went to the one we went to that grand
I was in
opening?
a class.
Right.
She just let me do it.
But she has a studio, so you can take classes. So she could do something like that.
Very nice. That's a great idea.
Only a few more questions.
Okay.
Just two.
Yes.
Why is your work as a historian so important?
Hmm. I think it's important that everybody remember their past. And it doesn't even have to be your own personal past. It can just be the past collectively. So I think it's important because if we are able to connect ourselves to that past, then we can better kind of advocate for ourselves. And what I mean by that is we can be a voice for other people, and we can also preserve architecture if we understand how important it is through history. And we can also teach other people how important it is. Because if we're able to teach other people that history is important, then I think we will all have a certain level of respect for each other, regardless of whatever race you are. If you know about their history, then you're able to better communicate with one another. And I love that about history.
I love that you can go back and just remember everything
Yeah.
you've been through just in
Mhm.
case you gotta tell someone.
I love that. That's a great point.
Last question. What is one thing you would tell your 7-year-old self about history?
Ooh. So you've got really great questions, Carrie. Good for you. I think if I could tell my 7-year-old self anything about history, I grew up in a small town called Sherman, Texas. And when I was a little girl, I loved history, but we didn't really have a whole lot of places to visit. I think if I could go back and tell my 7-year-old self anything, I would tell myself that history is all around us. It doesn't have to be in a physical building, although that's great when people have like all of these artifacts kind of curated together. That's beautiful. We need museums for that.
Mm.
But it's also important to remember that history is all around us. History is outside. History is a tree. You can learn about when the tree was planted. So I think I would tell my younger self to appreciate the history in every form, whether it's in a building or not. I would also, coincidentally, now that I've spoken with you, I would also tell my 7-year-old self that history can be found in any part of art. So history can be architecture, history can be food, as we learned. History can also be in paintings and in art. That's what I would tell my 7-year-old self. So you showed me that. So thank you.
Well, there's a lot of history in my paintings because I got to figure out why my pottery looks like I'm all over the place because I won't believe that I'm all over the place.
I don't think you are. I think you did a great job.
Uh, Last question. How are you inspiring the next generation?
Ooh, I hope that I'm inspiring the next generation just by living out loud and by doing something that other people aren't doing. So I hope I'm teaching them that it's okay to be different and it's okay to do something a little bit different than other people have done it in the past. You might fail and then you might succeed. You never know, but you'll never know unless you try. And I hope that is the thing that people are kind of learning from me, that it's okay to be different and do your own thing, and kind of learn, uh, teach others in that way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I can get more questions. Because there aren't any more there. So I don't know if you have some that you want to ask outside of the paper. That's not on.
Anything at all. I'm an open book.
Why do you like to inspire kids so much?
Ooh, I think I like to inspire kids because I look to inspire people in the same way that I would have liked to have had inspiration. So, um, when I was younger, I didn't have a whole lot of people that I knew that were that looked like me and that were writers. So I never knew that I could do something like that for a living. Um, and so I hope that I'm also showing people that uh, you can write for a living, and that's cool. I hope that I'm also showing them that you can take history and you can package it up and present it to people in a way that they will remember it and they can identify with it. Um, I hope that's how I'm inspiring young kids like yourself.
I was about to tell you that since you said writing is cool, I have like little notebooks and a bag of like a backpack of writing stuff that I can use and make art with.
Oh, wow. So you're a writer and an artist.
Uh-huh. So,
That's perfect.
so I take my backpack to things my mom and dad have to do and just do art, make baby ant, make
Yeah.
airplanes, and what else? And
You're
write KarisTV with 7 exclamation points.
okay. I love how thorough and how detailed you are. You got to have those 7 exclamation points. Very precise.
What do you plan to do when you earn your PhD? Or what do you
So
want to do with it?
another great question. I think I I will probably continue the tours for a very long time. I'm not sure that I will stay in Dallas. I may like venture out to another country at some point if I end up leaving. But after I get my PhD, I would love to teach at a college. So my goal is I'm going to get that PhD, and then I'll be a professor of food history or a professor of Black history or African American history, or even Texas history. Who knows? But those are the three things that I'd love to teach at a college.
That sounds awesome.
So, where on this globe that I have,
Mm-hmm.
to fill out,
Earphone.
would you go?
I love it. That's a beautiful globe, by the way.
Okay.
I say I also have a globe. I'll show you my globe. We have a lot of things in common here. I like that.
Art, history, math, wait,
Writing and now globes.
and
Like,
art.
Look at her globe. It's cool.
and uh-oh. So I think looking at this globe, I would either go to some island, like somewhere in the Caribbeans, or like Haiti or Jamaica, somewhere like that.
So there's a movie that I watched, and
Uh,
they didn't, and the dad didn't want to migrate from the pond to go to Jamaica.
oh, yeah. Like
Like,
just like that.
bless you.
Hmm?
Migration.
Or maybe Mexico.
I'm trying to find Mexico. I see Russia, but
There's Mexico right here.
okay, I see Mexico. Right?
Yeah, it's right below Texas. And I'll tell you something else about Mexico. A lot of people don't know. You may not have learned about the Underground Railroad yet. If not, you'll remember. You'll learn about that later. If you haven't, you have?
At school,
Okay. In school, love that.
I'm
So
gonna tell you what it is.
in Texas, we had a different Underground Railroad, and a lot of the enslaved people who wanted to escape slavery, they went down south to Mexico. And so there are different cities in Mexico that are full of vibrant, rich Black culture. And so I would love to visit those places and talk to them, and then maybe start a tour so I can let other people see what it was like and teach about that.
I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
What I was trying to tell you is the Underground Railroad from Harriet Tubman. She was helping people escape. First, she left and she made a path, and she came back to save her family and a few other slaves. About like when she was 90, she saved like over 1,000 people from slavery.
That is amazing. And I'm very surprised that you have already learned about that. I love that.
I did their Black History Month in first grade since I'm first grade.
Well, good for you. I'm very proud of you. Not a lot of people know about that. So thank you.
Their school does a really great job about it with that. I'm very pleased with that because the climate today in today's times with trying to ban books and things like that, they do really good with the different cultures at their school. So
that's amazing. Yeah, I'm very
even the dean and the director are Black.
wow. You have a great school. You're learning a lot.
Teachers. And
it's culturally diverse.
A lot of them are Hispanic.
Good. I love that you're able to see all of these different races and cultures, and you can all work together and do something really beautiful at school. I love it.
You too, right?
Thank you for spending your time with me and for answering my questions.
You are very welcome. Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed speaking with you and learning from you too.
And say goodnight.
Bye.
And bye for me.
You're the best. Thank you.
Oh my
You're
goodness.
welcome. Bye-bye, Miss Deah. I hope you have fun on KarisTV because
I
everybody's going to see you.
I did. I really had a lot of fun. Thank you. Okay, bye, Karis. Thank you.
Peace.